Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to start our Git and GitHub Quick Start Guide. This will be part 1. In this part, I will provide an introduction to this part in this series of lessons, and I will cover the core concepts behind Git. Then we'll walk through the installation of Git on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Now, in this Getting Started guide, since I want to go as fast as possible, I'm going to assume that you can basically walk through the installation on your own. I do have full step-by-step instructions and videos for those that need that. Then we'll get into the main event, which is an introduction to Git using what I refer to as the remote first approach. That is, we'll start on GitHub, which we will use as our remote hosting service for our Git repositories. Then we'll make a local copy, which we call cloning, and then we'll walk through the basic workflow, introducing the basic Git commands. And then we'll send our changes back up, which all of this combined together is a very common workflow. All right, I do have a few assumptions and target audience. I will assume that you have some basic computer skills and that you have not only the ability on how to install software, but you actually have the rights to install software. And that you basically have an understanding of the need for source control. Pretty much anyone who has worked on a project for any extended period of time and something devastating happened to their hard drive and lost all that work, you know who you are. You need source control. That would include freelancers, software developers, programmers, web designers, graphic designers, just about anybody that works with any kind of code. And that brings us to the value proposition for source control in general. And since you're looking at this, then I assume you're interested in learning about Git. And Git is the most popular source control tool out there right now. For my YouTube audience, if you're watching this on the live stream, I will make this video available immediately. It might be a little rough depending on how well this turns out, but I'll make it available for those that need that. However, inevitably there's going to be a few misquotes or lines I need to redo, so I will need to edit that all out and then upload a production quality version of this stream. I'll do this on this YouTube channel, so if you want to be aware of it, please subscribe to this channel. Also, I'll incorporate some of this into my Udemy courses, since this is one of my freebies. This content will probably show up on one of my free courses, and also other platforms. So I do more than just Udemy. That brings me to my model. Basically, I do have to justify my time in doing all this. And the way I do that is I start with short or intro courses, which I typically make for free. I post them to Udemy and YouTube and any other platform that I can. And then I also build up premium courses, which I make available on Udemy and other paid platforms. In addition to that, I've started using Patreon for those that like behind the scenes or the things that I'm currently working on that aren't quite ready for a course yet. And I'll be uploading as much premium content as I can there. So if you like the way I do things, please support me there. I'm also available for private, team, or group consulting, which include private classes or group training like this. And I'll provide links in the description on the YouTube video you're watching. All right, a little bit about me. I am a lead software engineer and an online instructor. I've been a lead software engineer for the last several years. I have about 20 years of software engineering and development experience. Currently, I'm on a continuous integration and delivery team, and I've become my company's resident Git and GitHub expert, which has allowed me to train many of my fellow developers in person at my current employ. And of course, that leads into my online training. So I've been training online for about 4 years. And currently, I have over 18 courses on Udemy and other platforms. All right, we're going to be starting with the command line. Now, I know some of you might be wondering why we would do that, especially if you're coming from Windows or another graphical interface. You might be wondering this might be like a step backwards. I totally understand, but there are some compelling reasons why. First of all, there's a lot of history, and because Git was designed from the command line first, any new features will show up on the command line before they would be integrated with any kind of graphical tool. And of course, this brings us all the power. So if you like the raw power of Git, then command line's your deal. But perhaps the most compelling reason, at least in my mind, is online help. It's impossible really to do very much online searching for something particular about Git without being given a bunch of commands. So if you don't know how the commands work, you're going to be lost. So try just searching anywhere, really. You go to the official website or Google, Stack Overflow, really anywhere, and you'll be given a bunch of commands. And the reason why is that it's consistent. Regardless of your operating system, whether you're on Mac or Linux or on Windows, all the Git-related commands are identical. There might be a few very, very minor exceptions, but for the most part, it's all the same thing. Now, I had nothing against graphical clients. They're perfectly great. However, I feel like you should learn the command line first, and then tack on the graphical clients afterwards. I do this in my own work. And right now, I'll probably split my time about 50-50 between graphical and command line. I found some commands are just a little faster on the command line. That's perfectly fine. And sometimes I just prefer a graphical client. But at least I know what's going on under the hood.